I want to mention Colorado.
Colorado, listen, that's a big win for Colorado.
They were rolling.
It's a big win. They're the best team in the Pac-12, and I don't even think it's close. And you know why? I mean, it's not hard to figure why. They've got one of the better point guards in the country, and he's a senior, and he's been around forever in McKinley Wright. And they've got other talent on their team, but that's ultimately the key. What I always say, like, look for a team in the NCAA tournament that's got a really good point guard, and you have a chance to go to the second weekend. McKinley Wright is that guy for Colorado, and Tad Boyle's a good coach. So I think Colorado is a sneaky team in the NCAA tournament because they've got some veterans, a veteran point guard, they got some young talented guys, and they got a good coach.
Yeah, and they can shoot it. They got shooters around McKinley Wright. And
I think I can attribute this to News Slander, which is my new nickname for Matt Norlander. I think he put in his column. I can't believe I got to the bottom of it because it was so boring at the top. News Slander, puts 800 words on Cam Krautwig when he could have done it in 400. That's his problem. I love him. I love the slander. But anyway, at the bottom of it, he had some stat which I thought was really good. I think Colorado's on pace to like have the best free throw percentage in years, and maybe, I don't know, forever. I don't know. You got to look at the bottom of
well, they're shooting 83% from the free throw line.
It's amazing. I mean, seriously, that number is insane, Rob. Like, insane.
Yeah.
Think of that.
Yeah.
80 from the line. Most teams' best shooter doesn't shoot 83 from the line in a lot of years. That's their average. That's crazy.
But yeah, no, I'm with you long term on Colorado.
Are you with me on News Slander too?
I think you're a little harsh. I think you were a little bit too critical. He's very. I
love you. I love you, Slander. Don't worry.
He's flowing with the words. Now he's breaking news too. Like,
I know.
Big time, man. Now he's on CBS Sports HQ.
Yeah.
My biggest criticism with Norlander is like, now that he's like this big TV star, he shaved off the beard.
Oh, he shaved the beard?
Like he does. Yeah, last time I saw him, like he didn't have like it was clean shaven. Like don't stray from your roots just because now you're big time, right?
You need the beard.
Throw the beard back.
Grandpa's jacket. Don't tell me
he doesn't wear the jacket anymore. Like he kind of went big time on us. Like that's my only criticism of Norlander is like, now he big timed us. And
his
all right, so
his persona's changed.
Yeah, so Colorado, yes, I love them. Huge win for them last night. Stanford. I had this conversation with Deshaun last night, and someone asked on the stream, so why is Stanford so disappointing, and why has Zaire Williams been so disappointing? And I was like, look,
right?
Yeah, I was like, no team in the country has had it worse in terms of like not being able to go home than Stanford. Like those kids are hurting.
Yeah,
it's not easy. Like I had one person.
Also, wait, even beyond that, Rob, if you go way back, they're practicing. Like they're shooting baskets on their concourse. They had to bring in a hoop into the concourse, and they're shooting hoops then. Then when they went outside, they weren't even able to do stuff there because of the firefighters. And then when they were
firefighters, you mean the wildfires?
Sorry, the fires.
The firefighters.
The wildfires.
Yeah,
firefighters. I'm a moron. Anyway, and then even. They're practicing out on their like on the outdoor courts. They couldn't even practice indoors. So like Cal, there's a reason Cal is really bad in the Pac-12. They shouldn't be this bad. And there's a reason why Stanford isn't as good as they should be. And then you got Zaire Williams, who's left the last couple of weeks. A lot of people didn't think he would even come back and play. So I'm glad he is back with Stanford and playing again. But yeah, he's had a rough year too.
I mean, they're going through it, you can't tell me that part of the reason Zaire left for the time that he left was because he was like, this is hard. This is not what I signed up for.
Are the worst.
Yeah, it's not what I firefighters are the worst. Yeah. This is not what I signed up for. What's up, Adam? I completely lost my train of thought. All right. Anyway, other team in the Pac-12 that I'm all over now is Oregon. They're starting to get healthy. Chris Duarte is back and making shots. Will Richardson is back and making shots.
Huge win. It's a huge win over Bobby Hurley.
Well, no, it's just it was nice to see them in a spot where they should go out and kick someone's ass, to have them go out and kick someone's ass, basically. And that's what good teams should do.
They're dangerous. They're like, as a value team, is there a better value to me than Dana Altman and this Oregon team now that they have Will Richardson back? Again, if they hadn't followed Dante, I'd be like, holy shit, this team could be a Final Four team. No?
I just don't love his fit in terms of the way that
you can use him in the NCAA tournament. He will fill a need for you.
I guess, but it's better to me. It's better to have the mismatch of like playing small with Eugene however you pronounce the last name, and Eric Williams. Like, because remember, like I always go back to this, right? In 2017, Oregon was good when they played Chris. What's his name? Boucher. Chris Boucher at the 5, right? They were good because he was a guy that could block some shots and he can make some threes.
And they have 2 shot blockers that year.
Hold on, let me get there. I'm getting there. I promise. So Chris Boucher, like 2017, they were good with him at the 5 because he could block shots, he could space the floor at the other end of the floor. But it wasn't until he tore his ACL and it forced Jordan Bell to play 35 minutes a game that they went from being like a good team to being like, they're a Final Four team. Like, they can make a run. Like, they are really, really good. And that's because all of a sudden you were switchable. You had this athletic playmaker. You can match up with everyone. And I kind of see that a little bit with this year's team as well. Like, I tend to like teams more that go with that kind of like, we're just going to play 5 guys that are 6'6" and athletic and switch everything and make threes and be impossible for you to guard. So that's
got a lot of that. They got a lot of those dudes. LJ Figueroa, Duarte, Will Richardson.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, Chris Duarte, I think, is going to be the guy where I'm like, in this year's draft, where I'm like, you're out of your mind if you let him get past like the 40th pick. I think he's my guy this year.
And the dumbest thing, we talked about this a little bit, is the NBA guys that are like, he's old, he's too old. It's like, you're only going to get him for like top.
Well, here's the thing. I get it, because at the end of the day, like, the draft is basically like you're buying lottery tickets, more or less, right? Like, you're the reason
not late in the first round, not late.
No, yeah, I get you, which is why, like, someone. So I told you this the other day. Like, he's the only guy in Basketball References database going back to 1992 that is averaging, I think it's 18 points, 4.5 boards, 2.0 blocks, 2.0 steals. No, I'm sorry, 2.0 assists, 2.0 steals, 1.0 blocks, and shooting 45% from 3. Like, he's having an unbelievable season. And if he was 19 and doing that, he'd be a top 10 pick. But he's 20. He's going to be 24 on the night of the draft. Yeah. So he's a top 40 pick at best. But you draft him now, like, he can step in and do a job as a 3-and-D player. So I think he's a guy that you want to get in the early second round to help your team, help you.
Also, if you're looking at coached Dana Altman coached players, look no further than what Peyton Pritchard has done so far with the Boston Celtics. He has been not good, Rob. Not good. Phenomenal. He had like 20 last night, 5 for 7 or 5 for 8 from 3. He's been awesome. So
Dylan Brooks ended up having a decent NBA career that no one really expected.
Good.
I believe he went undrafted. I might be making that up, but
I think he got drafted. I think he went second round. But Dylan Brooks was a guy who came into college. I remember seeing him sitting with Archie Miller. They were on him early. And I'm watching him, and I'm like, I love this kid at the Peach Jam. Just that undersized dude that, you know what? Like you said, they're tough matchups. That's what Dylan Brooks is. I like this Oregon team. I would be like, if I'm ranking them just based like your rankings, which basically the Dauster rankings are nothing that happened before last night matters.
I haven't put out rankings since,
but those are your rankings.
No, that's not true. But continue your thought.
The way you did your rankings are just last night. That's all that matters. I would have Oregon in my top. Would you put them right now? If you were doing like a pool, drafting teams based on how they're going to do in the NCAA tournament, would you take 12 teams?
I'll put it like this. I think that Oregon is one of the top 20 teams in America.
Would you take 12 ahead of them, do you think?
Probably, but it's also like that. I think they're in that same mix where once you get outside the top 2, and
Wisconsin or Oregon.
Oh, that's pick a different team than Wisconsin. Like, like I might take Washington State over Wisconsin.
You hate Wisconsin.
Speaking of which, can you please? I need you to publicly apologize to Kyle Smith. I need you to publicly apologize to Washington State. I need you to publicly apologize to Isaac Bonton. I need you to publicly apologize to the homie Effie Abogidi. I need you to just admit,
you're
totally wrong about my Wazoo Cougars.
I was wrong, man. They're for real. They're for real. They just beat UCLA. They are getting better. Kyle Smith has always done a good job, right? I mean, the Ivy League to the WCC, now in the Pac-12. The guy can coach, and his style is so different that I think that gives him a major advantage when he goes into a league. And again, it takes a while for teams to scout his system, the way he plays. But I think ultimately, again, does this say more about UCLA than it does about Washington State, Rob? And the fact that, like, UCLA is okay. They're like really a fringe tournament team is what UCLA is. I know I've had them kind of the back end of the top 25 at times, but
I mean, they're hurt. Like they first of all, they lost Chris Smith. Second of all, they played a while without Cody Riley and Jalen Hill. And if you don't have Cody Riley and Jalen Hill, like, one, you lose your offensive weapon in the post, and two, you lose your score. Like, they're just banged up.
Yeah.
Like, if you lose like 3 starters,
yeah,
any team is gonna get worse. So